You've stressed the importance of profitability, also a resilient and scalable business. Talk to us about what you have achieved this year and what your path to profitability looks like.
So in the last couple of months, this year actually, we shifted our focus to think about how do we become more sustainable as a company? How do we get better unit economics? How do we get better capital allocation? And across all our segments, enterprises, SMBs, and consumer, we have basically gone very, very deep into this in the last couple of months. We have grown our enterprise business in our Asia corridor by almost 50% across the board. We've grown our margin by almost 100% in the period as well. We have also ensured that, our fiscal discipline continues even into 2026 as a company.
So then how close are you to profitability?
We're pretty much there. We're still investing in the company, in the business, but we're investing smartly and carefully. We understand exactly why we're investing and we're unlocking new growth levers. But that said, the goal is profitability. We're thinking about our fundamental, which is key for us. And for us, being profitable gives us independence, and which makes us resilience, as we call it.
So potentially 2026, you'll get to that goal you've mentioned.
In the entire business, yes. We already have some part of the business that are already profitable, but in our entire group business, 2026, yeah.
GB, can you speak about some of those new growth levers? Because Flutterwave is only one of a handful of unicorns across the African continent. What is it that you're finding is successful in terms of growing and expanding the business?
So number one, we're thinking about, how money moves on the continent. We're thinking about infrastructure and how it empowers our clients. The topography of my business is really enterprises, small businesses, and consumers. How do we enable them? For example, stablecoin. We're building, for example, the biggest stablecoin deployment ever done in Africa, right? We're ensuring every business, every consumer has a stablecoin wallet. And let me explain why it's important. Think of a small business in Lagos, Nigeria, who wants to pay a supplier in China or in the US. And the lead time to getting your supplies is maybe a week if you pay by regular payment methods. If you pay with stablecoin, with USDC, for example, your supplier gets the payment real time, right? So we're getting customer demand for how do I get my supplies faster? And so we're building that infrastructure. For a consumer, it's remittances, right? It's moving money to family across the diaspora. That money movement can happen with stablecoin in seconds, unlike fiat that takes you 2-3 days, right? So in Africa right now, that is key. So we're building the stablecoin infrastructure that connects the fiat world to the stablecoin world. That's number one. Number two is we're also going very deep into our remittance product. We want to ensure that we're covering every corridor in Africa. The easiest way to move money in Africa should be through Flutterwave. If you're a consumer or you're a business, even an enterprise. In the last 1 year, for example, our enterprise business grew over 1,000% for our Asia corridor. And why did that happen? That was because of the fact that we saw the trade routes across the continent. There's a lot of African SMBs and corporate that import from China or from Asia, and we build a corridor, making payments simpler for them. And that's what we've done is now enabling our growth massively in 2025 and 2026 going forward as well.
Why focus on stable coins now, GB, if really the backbone of your business was fiat? Is there a certain advantage that you're seeing using stable coins to grow parts of the business?
It's just in response to customer demand, right? Like I mentioned, we have clients today. It's a defensive strategy, to be very honest. We've got customers today who wants to pay a supplier. That supplier says, look, if you pay me in stablecoin, I get paid in real time. If you pay me with fiat, it's 2, 3, 5, 5 days, right? So we have to respond to our customer demand. We're getting so many customers saying, how do I quickly pay my clients? How do I quickly receive money? We want to reduce the cost of remittances as well. How do you make it cheaper for a mom in America to send money back of the family in Lagos or in Accra or in Nairobi or in Lusaka? That's the point. So it's really customer response. We operate and expand across our customer demand as a company.
What are your ambitions then for 2026?
2026 for us is the year that everything just comes together, right? We're not just moving money. The last decade, literally, we've been doing the race for Africa's growth, right? And the future of Africa, in our opinion, is not hype, it's infrastructure led. When Africa wins, the global economy wins. We're building the pipes, and those pipes are now of age. Now, as of right now, we are the biggest fintech in Africa, the most licensed non-bank entity. In the last 10 years, we built that muscle. Now we're putting that to the test, all right? Now we've covered the entire world. We have UK, US, UAE, Canada, Europe covered through our partnership with Global Revenue, for example, and Nuvian. And the point behind that really is, how do we ensure we use that infrastructure to drive the next phase of growth for Flutterwave by empowering our customers across all our segments?
Do you expect to add more markets then potentially in 26, or is it just continuing to build on some of the infrastructure you mentioned?
A combination of both, actually. We'll go deep. We're going to go deeper, not wider. But that said, we're doing UAE next year, and we're not doing direct. We're doing through a partnership, right? Because payment is partnership. We're doing a lot of market like Hong Kong next year through partnership. Because again, we want to be in every major trade route for Africa. Where money flows from Africa, we need to be there. Because if we're making our customers to get paid and pay, we have to enable that corridor for them. For example, here PC Airline, we're able to expand from Nigeria to the UK and other regions this year, actually. And we enable that growth because we are also in the UK, or we're in the UK through our partner. And that's what we bring to the table. We have to be for our customers, we have to be where they want to be to actually protect their business and enable their growth.
GB, we're seeing a number of fintechs on the continent reach unicorn status in addition to Flutterwave. I wonder if you look at the current environment right now and see potentially opportunities for other types of startups to join this very exclusive group. What does the environment is it conducive enough for other sectors, or is fintech going to continue to dominate in your opinion?
Actually, other sectors will start growing. You start seeing that going forward. Payment is so key and pivotal. I said that, typically, if you look at how an economy is growing, three things are key: payments, logistics, and commerce. Now you're seeing payments has been solved in Africa thanks to Flutterwave and other folks as well. Commerce is booming right now. So is logistics, right? Once those three layers, those foundational infra are built, which we're getting there, naturally, you see a lot more companies grow even faster than we have gone far away because we are now infrastructure, right? And that's what you see. It's like AWS. AWS is great, but you can imagine, companies like OpenAI who are building on all these pipes, they'll be faster. And that's what you see. So I anticipate that you see a lot more unicorns, global companies growing massively from Africa in the next decade. That's for sure.
We've seen, just on that, we've seen a number of African companies raise substantial amounts this year. We talk about how a lot of fundraising has really actually risen back to some of the levels we saw years past. Where's Flutterwave at in fundraising?
Flutterwave is very focused on profitability right now. We're not hunting the next capital run deliberately because obviously we want to be sustainable as a company. And for us, it's about compounding value, right? We're growing our business, we're growing our corridors, we're expanding our infrastructure. We're solving real problems for African businesses in Africa today, and that makes us very excited, right? So for us, it's about growing our revenue, growing our margins, getting profitable. We are solving a fundamental payment problem in Africa, and that is what will sustain our value across funding cycles. So we're not funding cycle dependent anymore, which is great. We're rather focused on how do we be sustainable, and we're very key to the African economy.
And I know you said the focus is profitability and building deeper, not wider, but is there still an eventual IPO on the horizon? A lot of investors are watching closely. How far out do you think that potentially is?
So IPO for me is a milestone or a destination, right? We're already operating right now with public market discipline as a company, right? We are thinking about sustainability, profitability. So for us, we will not go and raise capital. There's a clear need for us to do so, right? We're already at the audit, governance, and compliance level at IPO grade infrastructure, right? So for us, the important thing is trust. We want to build trust with our clients, with our partners, our regulators, and our ecosystem, right? And if we do choose to go public, it will be when we're ready, not because market is asking for it, or market is noisy. Our goal is, we want to basically keep on operating with our current public market discipline, focusing on being profitable and sustainable.
Do you worry that some of the other competitors, though, might, maybe oust you in terms of being a dominant player on the continent?
I don't think so. I don't worry about competition at all. For one big reason, Flutterwave is now infrastructure. Flutterwave is also one of the most innovative companies you can ever imagine across the continent. A couple of days ago, we launched a Naira card and have free Go Naira card in Nigeria, powered by Odyssey on SendApp, right? SendApp is a remittance product, and that's the first time a remittance company will launch a Naira card for travelers into Nigeria this December and going forward. That was built literally in less than 7 to 8 weeks, and it's live, completed. It's doing great with our customers. The reception has been beautiful. That is a level of our innovation. Our stablecoin infrastructure that we're building is going live in pilots in next couple of days. We build that in less than maybe eight weeks with our partners because we saw the gap in the market, our customer demand. That's how we move in Flutterwave. We're very responsive to our customers. We're very innovative, and we solve real problems. We're not solving for hype. We're solving for actual Africa economic gap that we see on the continent, right? So we are very customer. Our customers feel what we do for them, right? They know how much we enable their business, and we're very, very deep in the value chain for our customers, and that is what is key. So we don't worry about competition, no. Rather, we're thinking about how can we do much more for our customers to be so sticky with them in our quest to be profitable for a long time.